Hi there, this is part number 8. Behind me you can see a blue door, and this is what we're going to model in this part. The door also has a gliding system. It's a bit more complex to model, but we're doing this as well. And we also have a smaller door with some protected glass, using a middle modifier to make the front and the rear of the door, and that's pretty much it for this part. So let's do some door modeling. And welcome to part 8 of the factory construction. In the previous part we worked on the light system in the factory. So we have these light trays, the light armatures and the area lights. We can control these in the light settings to have more or less light intensity. So what I like to do in this part is modeling the big door and the smaller doors. So two objects. But they are detailed, they have textures, so it will take some time. We will do it all in one in this part, so let's get started. What we'll do to be organized is go to Building, New, and call this Doors. And I also have some blueprints, and instead of making a new collection with the doors and they are interfering, and just putting them in the blueprints. I can see some floating objects. We're not using them anymore, so we delete it. So here we go. So go to the front view, enable the screencast. It's enabled, but just doing nothing. And what we'll do is we go to add. We have the image, reference, and doors. So we have two images. One over here, another one that helps understanding how they work. So we will start with the large door, then we jump to the smaller. So this system is a sort of a gliding system, and I like to make that because we can learn some more advanced modeling. It's not really advanced, but I mean it's just a step further as what we've been so far. So I like to start with modeling the door. So how that works is add, mesh, and start with adding a cube. Yeah, and we're aligning this with the reference. It's just a square size door. So, and press point, it's now centered. As Y, make it smaller. You don't want a very thick door. GY. Something like this will work. We're adding two edge lines. SX. So move them to the left and right. And two more. SZ. Like this. And one edge line in the middle, and press Ctrl B. Gently. So what we can do now is selecting the face in face selection mode. Control left click, Control left click, Control left click, Shift left click. There we go. And we extrude this a little bit, just like this. Perfect. So the door is pretty thick, but that's all right. And I like to add a texture. So we go to the material tab. What we will do is use the beam metal. We click on 18 and beam and door underscore blue. So the only thing we need to change now is the orange to blue. And that's it. So the roughness is the same, the normal is the same. And we're going to let's check the scaling. Item, Control A, rotation and scale. And cube projection, UV editing. And the best way of mapping this, and maybe I want to just isolate these, Shift H, so we have like all the space without having any distraction. I want to start with these two. And yeah, we're going to just align them right there.
So this is a very multifunctional texture, and maybe it looks like it's getting repetitive because we're using it over and over again, but in reality you won't really see it. And they also have a different color. We want to select these and just putting it right there. Perfect. So what's left is these two faces, and I want to put one right here in the middle without touching these bars. And the other one, let's go to view and repeat image. That looks weird. Oh, it's freezing, looks like. So Blender was freezing. I had to reboot. I'm doing it again, repeat, and just close this, and it looks like it's working back again. Well, you have to report this. It was kind of weird. It looks like when you open the view, it's kind of freeze what you're doing. That's, I think, incorrect. Anyway, we can now close repeat image. I couldn't see what kind of image I had when we just went over it, so that's why I duplicate the image. Let's take a look what we have. This is the door, and it's not bad. So I like to just continue because we have quite a lot of modeling to go. We're going to create this other part for the gliding system. So add cube, just because the center is here, we always have to drag this cube. And here we go. We can see something is wrong here at the bottom. I didn't fix these. Same for, I guess, this row. So I have to align this. I'm sorry. I could see a mistake I made restoring that. So here we go. It's not a lot of work. Control L. There we go. And how does it look? Way better. I'm sorry for this. We're scaling this cube like this. Go to the vertice selection mode. We're trying to put it right there. Like so. Extrude this. And then we extrude this all over the other side. So now we have this part, GY, like so. And we want to put something on top for the gliding. So check the scaling. That's not good. Control A, rotation, or just scaling. An edge line, and press Control B. Yes. Left click. Control left click. And we extrude. So far so good. Shift left click, Control L, link the material, and we're making this unique. Door border. We're going to the shading, and we select this white. And we have to fix the texture. So pressing U and Q projection. We have to do this all like in once because I don't like it if I have all gray models. And we have to do all the texturing afterwards. That's a lot of work. So I'm gonna just drag and drop this where I want it. Don't make it too hard for yourself. Like just this. And I just want to preview it. Looks solid. So now I think the most challenging part, this piece. You can see it's just going over and over. So how that works is we add another cube. And the cube is right there. For a second, my screen wasn't full screen. I had to fix that. That happens when my PC was freezing, or the Blender was just doing something weird. GUI, that's when you work in a beta version. Can always happen. Weird things start to happen. Okay, so what we need to do is we're scaling this, or we're dragging this. We're not scaling the vertices to the top. I want to go to the side view, and we need to put the cursor, shift right click at this point right here. So what happens is, what we can do, we can rotate it all over these the cursor. So shift right click, maybe this is a better position. Let's just take a look how that works. We have this spin, and you can define how you want to spin it. So if you do this right way, nothing happens. So no, and the X, there we have it. Okay, holding control, so it's snapping, and this works. So you have to spin this on the X-axis, and we have to do this again. I feel comfortable with doing that. Shift right click a little bit more to the right, and in X you simply drag this, holding control. It's on the other side, and that's it. We stop spinning and we extruding this to the bottom, something like this. And I like to select these two parts, like here. Well, in fact, I also want these, and move these to the left. So we can have a wheel over here. So now we're going to model the wheel. Okay, so we have this part, and we go to add, mesh, cylinder, and we go to the side view. Where is it? There it is. We rotate it, holding control. We make it smaller. Front view, it's all the way there. So let's move this to this part, making it smaller, a little bit bigger, like so. Then we're trying to find the right measurement as Y. Okay. So I want to add a hole in it, so it's going to glide. So we will do this with a mirror modifier. So we go to modifiers, generate. Where's the mirror? There we have it. There we have it on the Z-axis. So we have to select the rear. We pressing I, and at the same time I'm checking, and the scaling is wrong. So I want to return this action and do it again. Control Z was too fast. Control A, scale. We press I again, and then we extrude. It's going inside. I don't want that, so I'm doing the clipping. And GY, and putting it back to each other. And we can move the top part a little bit more outwards. And then we move this on top of this. And you can see we have a hole inside. So what you do is Alt left click, pressing I, and I again, G, Y, and scale it. So we do it again, Control Z, back again. So from the front, you can press I, or in the wireframe, Control Z, I, and we do I again. Oh, now I'm doing something weird. We extrude, and we scale this. Something went wrong. I don't know. But this is working. So we lift it a little bit. Or what we can do is just lower. Just have to click that. And I know what's happening. I have to say, as soon as I open a tab, and this is definitely a Blender bug, the viewport freezes. That's why I was just doing weird things with this. So we should just do this again. That's fine. It's just a learning curve. So I hit I, we have this, then we press E and press S. So we have like this hole inside, maybe scaling it a little bit, add a little bit of depth. And now we're just moving this a bit upwards. And I'd like to lower this like so. Great. Can we just move this a little bit more to the side? So this is our gliding system. And because it's a mirror, it's looking the same on the other side. We click apply. And I also want to have an extra edge line. So maybe move it a little bit upwards, and you will see in a second why. We're going to add a material, and this is called door border. So we're going to use door border, doing the UV mapping, U, Q projection, Control A, scale. That will result in a different map. Scaling is so important. I have to repeat myself over and over again. So if we take a look, it's now white. And I want to make this bottom part blue. So we add another material and door blue, and we assign like this. And this wheel will be white as well. So shift left click on this part, Control L, link the material. Yeah, do the box project, cube projection, rotation and scale or scaling. That's fine. Speeding up a little bit because we have to make another door as well. But pretty good. So shift left click, shift D, and we're putting it to the right. And I'll select these two pieces, go to the side view, or more in the perspective, G, Y, move them a little bit more so they are like pushed against the door. Same for these, G, Y. So sort of bending. Okay, from a distance, it will just shine. So that's the first door. Now I want to focus on the other one. So this door is smaller, but a bit more complex to model. And we also have to take more time to add the material and the texture work. But let's get started. We go to add, mesh, and cube. We drag the cube. This is a door. And we align this with the shape of the door. Scaling this all the way up like this. It's very thick. I want to make this thin. Oh, SY, like so, way thinner than a real door. And using a mirror modifier. Mirror. Okay, we have to check where the other side is. And there it is. And just merge this. All right. So all the changes I make will be appear on the rear as well, like a real door. So how are we going to approach this? So this door has a large window and some little holes down there and something to open the door. So Control A and scale. We start adding the first edge line. Let's go to the modeling tab like this. And I'm going to Just enable that again. And another edge line, like this. What's useful? Like, do it this way. So, another edge line. Here we go. Okay. And I'm doing exactly the wrong thing. So just, we're doing this different. 2 edge lines and putting them right there. And there's one more on top. I'm sorry. Just thinking what the best way to do. So we have this door and we go to the face selection mode. Just double check the scaling. Yeah. And we press I like this. Maybe a little more than the blueprint. And extrude this inside. Okay. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's the other side. That's fine. And I want to select these and extrude them. So, starts to look like a door. But then we have these, these holes. So we're adding extra edge line, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. And edge selection, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to the front view, press Ctrl B. Like this. Then we select in face selection mode, shift left click. And we extrude them inside. And now I want to scale them a little bit to the inside, but if I do that, it looks weird. So we have this individual origins, and you can now do this as Z. Not too much. Okay. So, and turn this back to bounding box center. Otherwise, you will have problems later on. So this is a very rough shape of the door. It looks exactly the same on the rear. So far, so good. I'd like to continue with the modeling. Add mesh cube. Where is my cube? There it is. And we're scaling it. I mean, this is like an easy part. We're dragging this right here. We can add a bevel later. Now something to open the door and handle the door handle. Scaling it up. And I like to just, before we continue, select all my parts and right mouse click, move to collection, building, doors. So now they're all in the right collection. Otherwise they're just floating around, will be messy. So we have this cube, will be the door handle. So how are we going to do that? Well, this is the perspective. So it will be this shape. We can replicate that. So we now have this cube, Control A, scale. And just move this a bit outwards. Face selection mode, E. Pressing this one, extrude. Like this. And I can make it smaller. Not too much. We can select these two. And these two edges. We have something like this. That starts to look like a door handle. So it's a little bit of shaping. You can do this in like all kind of ways. Maybe a little bit thicker. But yeah, it feels like pretty good. I like to select these, make it a bit smaller, maybe a little bit more outwards, so you can really grab this handle. Maybe one in the middle, that will do. Move him, double tap G, a little bit smaller. Okay. Like I try to add a little bit of curve inside of it. I don't want to ruin this. So right now we have like all the parts. So what is left is adding the wood texture, adding some metal texture right there, and a protected window on the door, and then yeah, that's pretty much done. So we start with the wood, new, door, wood, just easy to recognize. We go to the shading tab, add texture, image texture, open, and we go to our texture folder, and it's called stair planks, albedo, and we start with albedo. The shadeless texture, roughness, non-color, and of course the normal map. And we connect these, and the normal. So it's done. So now we have to align this texture in a good way, because currently, if we just take a look, it looks like trash. We don't want that. It's a beautiful door, but it needs some love. So what I like to do, as always, we select these parts. Oh, add this edge line. That will really help. And one over here. So now we can simply select the left and the right. I want to deselect these parts. Okay. Deselect. And this as well. And we do a cube projection. Yeah, UV editing, cube projection, and we want stair planks. This time a different texture, albedo. So it looks really like a boring texture. However, it's you can use this in a lot of. It's a stair plank, and I'm using it for a door. So what I'm trying to say, it's a multifunctional texture. I kind of like that. So I like to just select these without selecting that border, cube projection. And same as all the other parts, we have to take our time in aligning the texture. That's good. What do we have? It's not good. What do we get there? I want to select all of this without having this. And we're aligning this like so. But a little bit different. So let's just select all individual planks. Like so. And now we have to align them with the planks. It's a little hard, so let's select them one by one. That's fine. Okay, I'm just trying to use as many areas as I can. Okay, how does it look? Looking better. So we also, yeah, starting to look like a door. So what's really distracting is this border. So we have to select it, all parts. Yeah, but also the sides, and using Control left click, Control left click. Yeah. Cube projection. Of course, I get something like this. Okay. So at this point, you just want to select, let's say I want to just touch this border. We select these. The tiny parts take most of the time. Really, they do. Some parts, I mean, you fly through it. And these simple tiny parts eat all of your time. But I knew that this door will take a lot of time, so I was prepared. Okay, so we also have these inner faces. Let's do it a little bit different this time. And it's okay. This is so normal that you run into a little bit of UV mapping, time-consuming work. I kind of like that. But I understand that you just want to finish this. Let's do the projection. We rotate. And we finish it. So, yeah. This kind of look. Yeah, it's good. So I also want, now I want the protected window. Protected glass. Oh, that helps so much. You project from view. Just scale this. And for this, it's a new texture. Just metal. Just metal. Shading. Add texture. Image texture. And metal. Here we go. It's a very, in fact, boring texture. And the metalness, non-color, goes into metallic. Now we have some roughness as well. Non-color. Oh, of course. This is the roughness, yeah. And we have normal map. DX. Add that displacement normal map. There are ways to speed this up. Oh, okay, now I'm a little bit confused. Oh, that's the roughness map. Normal map, that was good. Putting it right there. So we're going to Control A, scale it. Cube projection. Then we have to check how that looks. It's way too much. Not sure. Yeah, it's not bad. Shift left click, Control L, link material. Control L, oh, Control L, U, cube projection. Okay. So currently it's not really how I want that, but if I go to modifier and we add a bevel, that's way too much. Add more segments, lower this. Oh, it doesn't like what I'm doing. So object shade smooth. And there is this option. Yeah, that's why it's problematic. Okay. Can we add a simple bevel on this without breaking it? Probably. Yeah. So maybe add 3. No, way too much. Way too much. Okay, a lot of detail for just a handle, but it's nice and shiny. So we have the glass, we have the handle. I call it fixed. There's a little bit of bad UVs here. Just check it. Cool, we have a door. So I also want to have a frame for this door. So I go to Add Mesh Cube. And there's the cube. And let's use generate a mirror for this one as well. Yes. So we have something that looks the same for this door. All right. Vertice selection mode, make it a bit smaller, otherwise this frame is very thick. Move this upwards, extrude, and a little more on top, and extrude, and select clipping and merge them. So we have the door frame. And I like to have this white color, Control L, link material. So it's a lot of repetitive work, as you can see. We applied it, but that's a very good way to learn. Cube projection. Let's go to the white metal. Well, that's fine. A bit smaller. And a bit smaller. And this one as well. Cube projection. Right, we have the doors. So to complete this part, I like to add the doors in the hull. And by doing that, I want to bring back the hull by pressing Alt-H. So everything is back. We're deleting these blueprints or background images. And then we select the door, going to the top view. And we press Shift-D. We're bringing this into the hull, wireframe, and we rotate it. So you can see the door is located right here. So just push it here and take a look what we have. So at first sight, it looks like we made a small door, but this hole is 2 meters. So there are two things. What are we going to do? We're making this hole a little bit wider, and then we're scaling the door so it's fitting. And then it's perfect, so we don't change the measurement. So we're selecting the hole, and maybe yours is already a bit better, but I have to change mine. What is totally fine, no problem. So we've selected these, and you just want to select the door, right this, and press S and Y, is scaling them a little to that position, fine. We select the door, the handle, and the frame and scale it like this. And we're merging this. You can go to the workbench. So we have some more object feedback. And we're merging this inside the wall, just like this. So, okay, that's one door. We got two more. We're duplicating this one, Shift-D to the other side, and this one has probably the same measurement challenge. So first we're trying to align this so it's right, like this. Okay, and we're going to make it a little bit wider, same as the other door frame or hole, whatever you call it, like this. Okay, so looks good. S and X slightly. So we have a door, and it's right there. So then we have the large door, the big one, the blue, the gliding door. We select all the objects, and let's duplicate it. We do something wrong, we have a backup file. So we are snapping this with Control. And let's go to the render mode here, right there, and we're putting this against the wall like this. GY. Yeah, you don't want this. Make it a little bit bigger. Not sure if yours is already good. So, okay. Don't want to be this inside. And you can see that we have a challenge because this pillar is, we have to move this to the right, something like this. So we have to do the same with the other one, GY. So we keep it in balance. That's fine. I was prepared for this. And then we grab the door and these handles like this, and we press GY and we open it like this. Solid. And that's it. We're finished. So we go to cycles, the viewport, and we make a render just to check. And we can see the blue door and the other two doors, the smaller ones. And that's it. So we're ending this part. And in the next one, we'll focus on more advanced materials and starting with water puddles on the concrete floor. So on these plates and this striped concrete. So that will take a full part because we want to do that in a good way. So thanks for watching this part, and I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye.